Hello everyone. In this lecture, today we are going to see something about the engine performance. The three basic factors that are considered while evaluating the performance of any IC engine are power, speed, and fuel consumption. In short, the interrelationship between these three factors determines the performance of the engine. There are certain points that are needed to be considered while evaluating the performance. And the first one of them is the torque or the maximum power which will be available at each speed within the useful operating range of the engine. Okay. The next thing is the power output, the range of power output for any given constant speed for which the engine operates at a stable conditions. In this, the speeds that are to be selected, they should be at equal intervals within the total speed range of the engine that is considered to be useful. Then one more thing is the BSFC, that stands for the brake specific fuel consumption at each operating condition. Also, the reliability and durability of the engine for its total operating range is of an important consideration to determine the performance of the engine. There are certain parameters that are evaluated and considered to determine how the engine performs or how the engine operates. Let us go into them. The very first one is the fuel used and its calorific value, which is nothing but the total amount of heat liberated by the unit by the consumption of a unit mass of a fuel. Then the swept volume of the cylinder, which is also called as the stroke volume, the total distance covered by the piston while moving between top dead center and the bottom dead center. Then the engine swept volume is also there. Then you have the compression ratio, the volume enclosed between the top of the piston and the cylinder head when the piston is at top dead center. Then you have engine indicated torque. Then you have engine torque, indicated power, friction power, brake power, and engine specific fuel consumption, BSFC and ISFC, indicated specific fuel consumption. Let us see something further. The first thing that we see is the mean effective pressure. Okay, this varies throughout the cycle. The pressure in the cylinder, it is going to vary throughout the cycle of operation of the engine, and to express this, it is considered with respect to the volume or the crank angle rotation. This helps us to obtain a PV, that is pressure volume, or P theta, that is pressure and crank angle rotation diagram respectively. Nevertheless, the continuous variation in this does not readily apply for simple mathematical analysis. That is, mathematical analysis is not so easy to perform in this case when continuous variation is considered. Okay, on actual diagram, on actual PV diagram, we see that the area which is enclosed, it is measured by the planimeter. Okay, and the value of the area measured, when this it is divided by the displacement caused by the piston, it will result in an ordinate which is taken as the mean or the indicated mean effective pressure. This is nothing but a fictitious constant pressure which is considered to produce the same work per cycle if it is acting on the piston during the power stroke. Okay, then we have two types over here: IMEP, that is indicated mean effective pressure, and BMEP, brake mean effective pressure. This is used for comparing the different engines. This indicated mean effective pressure is considered to be a better parameter when considered in comparison with the torque to evaluate the design for the engine and its output. Okay, because we see that it is not dependent upon the speed of the engine and size of the engine. Now next is the engine power. The first thing that we see over here is the engine indicated power. This is nothing but the rate of doing work. Power is broadly defined as the rate of doing work. If you analyze any cycle, the rate of doing work, that is the power as related to the engine, is expressed in kilojoules per kg of air when you consider the air cycles, fuel air cycles. This kilojoule per kg of air can be converted to power when you multiply it by the mass flow rate of air taking place through the engine in kg of per unit time. Okay. Also, when we consider the actual engines, it is desirable or it is more prudent to compute indicated power from mean effective pressure or a given effective pressure and operating conditions. The formula for the engine indicated power in this case is shown, and all the parameters and all the factors are hereby displayed. If you go by the definition, the indicated power may be written as indicated net work into cycles taking place per second. Then you have the engine indicated torque. As is seen, it is given by the work done per angle of crankshaft rotation, okay, or angle of one revolution. Now, work done is force into displacement, and if you consider one angle of revolution, it is 2 times of pi into n, that is rpm. Then further evaluation, it leads to forces pressure into cross sectional area. And n is, sorry, it is not rpm, it is the number of cylinders, so sorry, my mistake. Force into distance is work and the number of cylinders divided by 2 times of pi. Then again, if you consider force, it can be written as pressure into area, and in this case it will be the mean effective pressure, indicated mean effective pressure into the cross sectional area of the cylinder, divided by 2 pi. And here one additional factor you will see is z. This accounts for the type of engine which we are considering, either it is two stroke or four stroke. As you can see, in two stroke engines, the value of Z is taken to be 1, and when the engine is four stroke, then it is to be taken as 2. Let us go on a bit further now. Then you have the brake power or the engine brake power. We have seen that the indicated power is based upon considering the indicated net work, and hence we say that the indicated power is an indication of the forces which is developed which are developed within the cylinder. Okay, but actually we do not get work from the cylinder, we get work at the crankshaft. So of more practical application or interest is the rotational force which will be available at the crankshaft, which, or in other words, can be called as the delivery point of the power. Okay, hence this power is referred to as brake power, or in other words, it can also be called as shaft power because it is available at the crankshaft, or it is also called as the delivered power. Okay, here you see that the brake power, it is given by this formula. Okay, so let us go on a bit further now. Then you have the fuel consumption. We call it as SFC, or specific fuel consumption. It is given by the mass of fuel that is consumed upon the taken per unit of engine brake power. Okay. Then you have BSFC and ISFC, where M dot F stands for the mass of fuel consumed, and in denominator you will find the engine brake power or the engine indicated power respectively. Okay, let us go on a bit further now. Then you have the air consumption. How much is the air sucked in into the combustion chamber? It is given by two volumes One is the cylinder swept volume, that is VC, given by the cylinder area into the stroke length, and engine swept volume, in which an additional factor is included, which is the number of cylinders. If there is just one cylinder, then the cylinder swept volume will be equal to the engine swept volume. But when the number of cylinders are more, then you have to accordingly multiply that factor to determine what is the total engine swept volume depending upon the total number of cylinders that are present. Okay. Let us go on a bit further now. Now we have different efficiencies that we have to consider over here. There are many, some of them they are illustrated in this presentation. Now, the major efficiencies that are of consideration are the air standard efficiency, brake thermal efficiency, indicated thermal efficiency, mechanical efficiency, relative efficiency, volumetric efficiency, scavenging efficiency, charge efficiency, and combustion efficiency. Okay, let us briefly review them over here one by one. First of all, we'll see what is the air standard efficiency. We can also call it as the thermodynamic efficiency. This is nothing but a function of the compression ratio and other parameters which will give you the upper limit of the efficiency which can be obtained from the engine. Okay. Now over here you are seeing engine thermal efficiency. It is given by brake power upon the fuel power. Brake power is PB multiplied by 3600 divided by FC into CV. What is FC? It is the fuel consumption in kg per hour, and CV is the calorific value. Okay, let us go on a bit further now. Then another one over here is the engine mechanical efficiency. This will take into consideration whatever mechanical losses they are taking place inside the internal combustion engine. These losses may be enumerated or may be subdivided into the groups that may be. First one is the frictional losses, and these are present in case of the piston cylinder valve, the bearings, intermeshing gears and valve mechanism. Then also when the power is absorbed by components such as the lubricating system, the oil pump, fuel pump, the cooling system incorporating the water circulating pump, radiator, and the ignition system which may have a magneto distributor, battery charging, radiator fan, etc. Then you have another one is the ventilating action of the flywheel. Another is the charging of the cylinder with fresh charge and discharging the exhaust gases during the exhaust stroke. So these are some of the mechanical losses that takes place which determine the mechanical efficiency. In terms of numerical formula, it is given by the engine brake power divided by engine indicated power. Let us go on a bit further now. Then you have the engine volumetric efficiency. This is nothing but the rate or the measure of success with which the air supply and the charge will be inducted into the engine. Okay, this is a significant parameters. This indicates what is the engine breathing capacity. If we go by the bookish definition, we can say that it is the ratio of actual mass of air taken into the combustion chamber in a given period of time to the theoretical mass or the maximum possible mass of air which can be taken inside the combustion chamber in the same given time. Okay, this is called as the engine volumetric efficiency.